Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. We're going to talk about the narcissist and why they feel so entitled and why they come across the way they do, the way they act. Narcissists, to relate it to like your child stars. A lot of these child stars grow up and have these really difficult lives where they enter into adulthood. And if they're not still acting, things just kind of fall apart for them. They're so used to being adored, getting everything they want. They can have the best of the best. They expect that. We kind of train the child actors to feel entitled, superior, extra special. And when they get out into the real world, or if they start not getting cast in different shows, they're going to start to crave what they used to have, because they still in their mind, it's been ingrained in them that they're entitled to it. So they don't know how to handle this change in their reality. And that's kind of like with the narcissist. If it's a grandiose one where they're used to the adoration from their parents that went above and beyond, maybe in school they were the best baseball player, so they think that they're the best. It's just the childlike mentality, and things are ingrained. But when they get out in the real world, they don't have the coping skills. And depending on how severe it gets, if they're being forced to take too much accountability, sometimes some of them do commit suicide or turn to drugs or alcohol as a way to escape things. I also did a video on what drinking does to a narcissist. That's kind of interesting because it changes with them. They're a little bit different. It's finally to where they're a little bit more settled, but then the brain in the calm state over acts, so they're going to act out a little bit more if any little trigger happens. So the childhood stars end up not knowing how to regain what they feel they're entitled to. So that's why they lash out. Same with your narcissist. They feel entitled. So they're going to throw little fits just because they are in a childlike mentality, to where they have to have that source of adoration, that source of superiority. So they're going to start knocking other people down. They're going to bring out your insecurities to kind of counterbalance what their insecurities are. It's weird how that works. But it soothes them. It gives them power. They crave the power because they feel that everything in their life has been turned upside down to where they don't know how to control it. And so they have to cause chaos. Like, they need the chaos to rebalance what's going on in their brain. But they'll take it from whoever. Usually they'll take it from the people who are closest to them. They start building up a network of people who will tolerate their bullshit. If you don't tolerate it, that's why the discards can happen. If you ever try to set boundaries, they'll either get worse on their acting out, whether it's gaslighting, lies, whatever they're going to do. They're going to manipulate you in some way. They're going to play the victim. They're going to turn it around on you, that you're the one at fault. They do not take accountability. And just like the child stars, they don't take accountability for their actions. They just do whatever they think they can get away with. It's a survival technique for them, to where they are so unsettled that if they don't regain that power, if they don't regain the adoration, it can lead to, like I said, drugs, alcohol, suicide, promiscuity. They just have to feel control in some way. And that's when you're trying to understand like these narcissists, because you see them as adults. You're like, can't you grow out of it? Can't you act like an adult? Can't you be kind? They're in that childlike state. They were not able to cross over because they were like ingrained to where the brain just didn't flourish like it needed to. And you can't just have your brain regrow something that's gone. They are constantly seeking. They're constantly seeking, which is why they often disrupt things, because once they find something and hold on to it, they need busyness of seeking. So that's when they'll tear down a relationship so they can like have it feel fresh and new again, to where there's the push pull, like the adoration of being wanted, as opposed to it being unspoken. They want us to go above and beyond, to kind of prove that, you know, they have this great worth, that we're willing to do pretty much anything. Sometimes they'll even test the boundaries, purposely have you do things you don't want to do. They'll make you feel bad if you don't want to do maybe certain sexual acts, or you're not allowed to say no to them. When you say no to them, that's how you can really tell when somebody is a narcissist. If they start throwing fits, things get worse. They don't let you have your own sense of self. When you first got into the relationship, they built up who you were, and you felt really good about it, because you were being free. It's like you were able to just express everything. You know, you could talk to them, you could do your favorite things. You felt loved. You were just you were in this great state of mind. And they just kind of get jealous of your happiness, in a sense. So they want to take it from you, instead of enjoying it and building it and continuing to both feel it. They feel, you know, that they have to take it from you. They don't want you happy, because they do have like a jealousy of it. That's why they sought after you, is because of who you were. There's a lot of things about you that are absolutely amazing. You were yourself, you were confident, you were happy, you were pursuing things, you were focused. But once you got into that relationship, the narcissist wanted to steal that. And the only way they can do it is by making you feel off balance, by putting you down, by disrupting any of your, your holiday plans. They always have to, take away the happiness that you had. So when you're, let's say, at a family party, you're enjoying it, you get in the car and they're like, yeah, that was fun until you said this, or, why were you helping clean up? You left me there with your father to just sit and talk all day. Or like, they start taking away whatever happiness you had. And then you start feeling guilty, like, yeah, maybe I should have spent more time. But do they come over and ask you to sit with you? They just expect you to understand what it is that they want, when they could have easily told you, or they could have helped in the kitchen. It's all about them, that they're not thinking, that you're cleaning, you're helping, showing thanks for, the hospitality. It's all about them. And they project their anger onto you. That's why you start feeling uncomfortable, start seeing like red flags, like what is going on? Because often you didn't really do anything wrong. Just like, is it that wrong to go help somebody clean the kitchen? Is it that wrong that you didn't know exactly what was going on? You're trying to help, you're trying to be a good guest, and they turn it around and destroy whatever happiness you have. Like I had said in one video about, like, let's say you get an award. They might get irritated that they have to go with you. Often they will probably somehow get out of going with you. It's too much of a hassle for them. It's not about them, unless it's something that would stroke their ego. Then they are more willing to go, so they can say, that's my girl up, that's my girl. And it focuses my girl, not I'm so proud of her. It's their possession. And it's kind of interesting how the child stars turn out. Some turn out okay, but a lot of them are depressed. A lot of them are trying to get back into the limelight. And if they don't have it, they're just lost. Even if they don't want to put the effort into acting anymore, they still want to be who they felt that they were while they were acting. So sometimes they just don't want to keep doing it. But it is really interesting how messed up a lot of them do get. Some of them make it through. but it all depends on, how they were brought up. Sometimes it is some personality traits. We're all different. I got a brother and two sisters. We grew up in the same household. We're all very different. And, you know, uh, not that far apart, but each one of us goes through different experiences. So sometimes, depending on the narcissist at school, how they were treated by others, or the teachers, or how much of their ego was stroked. And like I said, there are also vulnerable narcissists, but just I wanted to do some more on Elvis Presley, how everybody thinks he was this fantastic guy. He was very giving, but he gave to kind of for his sake. And it's also really easy to give when you have a lot. But look at how his life kind of turned around. He was very terrible to Priscilla, felt very entitled, didn't care about her needs. He was very demanding on her for his image. And that's really destructive to somebody's life. So I just thought it was interesting. Sometimes we do try to understand why these narcissists act the way they do. It's just an entitlement that they got somewhere along their childhood. And that's where the grandiose ones, those are the ones who are more into image, power, being the best of the best. Vulnerable, they're more apt to be the worst of the worst. So you feel sorry for them. They just need that attention somehow. So there are differences between vulnerable and the grandiose, but they're just kind of little spoiled little kids that just don't know how to handle the real world. And you'd think that they could grow up, but something got stuck in their brain, and they don't have part of their brain that lets them feel that empathy. So they're lonely. They don't have true connections. I mean, think about it. If you went through your life without true connections, because right now we're feeling a loss of the connection that we have with our narcissist. We thought it was real, and we lost something, but they've never even experienced it. I've said in several videos that my second narcissist was, he says, I've never been in love. I don't love the way other people do. And, you see the relationships, how they are, it's kind of crazy. So please like and subscribe. Let me know if you'd like to talk about something, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.